Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to my channel. We're gonna do something we haven't done in a while. We're gonna look at the Satanic Panic. For those of you who don't know, the Satanic Panic took place in the late 70s, the entirety of the decade of the 80s, and even into the early 90s. So, yeah, it was a while. It started, actually, the seed started back in the 60s with the Manson family, and then um, with Dallas Egbert, um, with Dungeons and Dragons. I have a show on that. You'll have to go back. It's in my Satanic Panic series. And then there was stuff about rock music. Hey, perps. And then the McMartin preschool shit came about, and most of it took place in America, but some of it was in Canada, some of it took place in the UK, and some of it was also in Australia. So anyway, but like I said, a lot of it took place in America, and it was a frenetic time to be alive. Actually, a lot like today. Exactly, perps, exactly. Just came from people who were too dumb to realize that it was them. But anyway, all right. So we're going back to Occult Demon cassette tapes. Haven't been there in a while. He uploads this stuff for people like me to bring hang on. Okay. To bring hang on. To bring I'm sorry. Brain fart. I really hate when I do this. To bring attention to it. All right. So make sure you can see it so you can also hear it. All right. There we go. So anyway, and I'll break in from time to time to tell you my thoughts on the matter. All right, here we go.
I take pictures of children and pets together in nice natural settings. All of this sounded fine, certainly. It was better than what happened in the basement. Then he said matter-of-factly, the pictures will be better if you snuggle up to the animals without any clothes on. So, take your clothes off. All of them. I stood there, frozen in silence. I was numb. I did not understand what was going on. It was not like the times in the basement, but this did not feel right either. As the photographer set up his camera, the other man began to move toward me. Hurry up, we do not have all day, he yelled. The sun will be going down. Don't you know how to take your clothes off? Then he laughed at my fear and reached out to touch my blouse. I backed up and slowly began to unbutton it by myself. All of them. Hurry up, he barked again.
Okay, so this is like an audiobook. Thank you, Purple. That makes me feel a lot better. All right. Let me see if I can find something else. Because this is an audiobook it's not exactly what I want. Let me see if there's something else we can watch. I'll be right back. Oh, I think that's Alpha and Omega. It's what these Christian idiots. It's just like today, except today's even more. By today, I mean the the Christian idiots are ruining America. I don't mean to get political and all this, but same thing happened in the Satanic Panic. Guys, it'll go away, but we have to make it go away. Okay? It's the only way it's going to go away is if we make it go away. Sorry, that's just how it is. Alrighty, here we go. Pagan invasion.
Movies like Exorcist 3 and Witches fill the theaters and living rooms throughout our nation. Sadistic violence floods feature films with the bodies of the dead and maimed. Music videos have turned increasingly pornographic. More than 50 major black metal rock groups preach satanic messages and even call for the worship of the
Yeah, you want to know why? Um, rock groups have satanic messages. It's because it gets you guys' hackles up. If you didn't, if it didn't bother you, we wouldn't do it. You are fucking idiots. Don't you know that? That's why we do it. That is the only reason we do it. If it didn't bother you, we wouldn't do it. Oh, perps, I thought you were an atheist, but you're a pagan? That's fine. I used to be pagan. I used to be Wicca. I used to be a Wiccan. I was Wiccan for about 2 or 3 years. And for people who do not know, although I bet people who come to this channel do know, but for those of you who may not know, pagan is not Satanism. They're two different things. And actually, paganism is a bunch of different religions. Oh, cool. Okay. Nice perps. So anyway, just to let you guys know, just in case you didn't, paganism is not one religion. It's a bunch of different religions, and it is not the same thing as Satanism. And there's theistic Satanism, which believes in a literal Satan, and there's atheistic Satanism, which does not believe in a literal Satan. Okay? So, for you Christians out there, get it through your thick heads. Alright, moving on.
The Prince of Darkness. Occult images of superheroes with magical powers of sorcery fill the hearts and the minds of
Oh, come on. Do not pick on He-Man. I love that show. God damn it, I still love that show. I still love that show. And I still love She-Ra. I swear. I do. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's a blast from my past, you know? Reliving my childhood, you know? But, yeah, leave my He-Man alone. I mean, come on. They're cartoons. They're not real. Moving on.
children in the cartoons and video games. 75 years of films, 50 years of TV, and decades of recorded music have brought Americans to an insatiable lust for sex, violence, witchcraft, perversion, and occultic mysteries.
No, not really. Before Christianity, nobody had even heard of Satan because well, okay, in the Jewish faith there's a Satan, but it's not the same Satan as Christianity. So anyway, I'm not going to get into the Jewish Satan versus the Christian Satan. Not germane. Just be aware they're two different entities. But anyway, yeah, you really, the reason people are interested in the occult is because of Christianity, you idiots. If you hadn't created this uber bad guy called Satan, people would not be interested in the occult. I mean, come on. You know? All right, moving on.
The dawn of the 21st century has brought this nation to an unbelievable and yet undeniable obsession with the macabre. In a word, our society has marched boldly and defiantly
No. the dawn of the 20th century has not brought our nation to no. Do you even know who Vlad the Impaler was? I'll give you a hint. He was a very, very bad dude. And the things we do now pale in comparison to what Vlad the Impaler did. Okay? Just, you know, something to think about. And Vlad the Impaler was nominally Christian. I mean, he had the blessing of the Pope. And I know you're going to say Catholics aren't Christians, but they are. So, you know, what are you going to do? Yeah, perps. Alrighty. So anyway, also you've got the Crusades. I mean, those were I would get demonetized in a heartbeat if I even said 1/16 of what the Crusades were. I have a series on the Crusades, but I didn't even get into how utterly destructive the Crusades were. Okay? So don't even blame this shit. I mean, the 20th century isn't even, it would blow your mind to go back to the 12th century. Yeah. It would blow your mind to go back to the 12th century because Europe was Christian and there was a lot of shit going on that you would be going around saying, what the fuck is this? Don't even try to tell me that we are in a bad place in the 20th century right now. It pales in comparison to what it was 800 years ago. Yep. And what about the witch trials? And I'm not just talking the Salem witch trials. There was a little known witch trials in America before the Salem witch trials called the Salem witch trials. But before then, there was the European witch trials, you know, and that was nothing but Christians. Don't even get me started on what the Christians did, okay? Don't even get me started. You want to point fingers? As my grandpa said, when you start pointing fingers, there's 3 pointing back at you. So anyway, moving on.
Through the doorway of Satan.
This fascination with the works of darkness and the occult is seen at every level of our society. From the absolutely phenomenal success of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Anton LaVey's first Church of Satan in San Francisco, our culture is being sucked deeper and
Okay, what's wrong with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I never did get into that when I was a kid, but they were mutants. So? I mean, according to Christianity, Jesus was a mutant too. I mean, what kind of an idiot wouldn't say 100% God and 100% human is a mutant? Which, I mean, let's be serious here. Nobody can be 100% God and 100% human. You can only be 50% God and 50% human, if you want to call it that, because, you can only be 100%. So anyway, moving on.
And deeper into the vortex of satanic influence and domination. Today, according to our research, multiplied thousands in the free world are involved in Satanism. A recent publication.
According to our research, how much you want to bet they got that out of one Christian magazine? Oh, perps, you're 1 in a million. You know that? All right. Moving on.
From Europe reports that there are up to 100,000 black witches, Satanists, and chaos magicians in Great Britain alone. In Germany, an estimated 10,000 people practice black magic.
Okay. All right. Witches are magicians, okay? Not all magicians are witches, but witches are magicians, okay? Magicians can be white magicians, gray magicians, or black magicians, okay? I never touched black magic. Never got into the stuff. Yeah, me too, perps. Probably from their ass. Alright. Chaos magic. I don't know a whole lot about chaos magic. That's just not something I had much to do with. It's not bad. They want you to think it's bad because, hey, it's chaos and it's magic, but it's not bad. It's just I never really. I was more of a green witch, but anyway, and Satanists are not witches. Okay, some Satanists are magicians. I think Levian Satanists are magicians, but they aren't witches. All right, moving on. Well, before we move on, I'd like to say, how much wrong can you pack in one sentence?
Law enforcement agencies across North America are inundated with criminal cases involving satanic activity. Everything from grave desecrations to child pornography and molestations, ritual abuse, animal mutilations, human sacrificial murder, cannibalism, rape.
And there goes my monetization. Oh well. Not one satanic case was ever it was never not in America. They did have some cases in Mexico. But that was in the 90s, I believe. In let's see. This guy, he had a cult, and he was he practiced Santeria, this guy did. And he worked for the cartels in Mexico. And he lived in Matamoros. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah, perps. That's it. Like I said, I can't think of his name. But yeah. Moving on.
For some of these young people, the fixation on violence, evil, and death leads them to commit abominable crimes, including suicide and human sacrifice. Joseph Beeson, 18, and Ed.
Okay, since my monetization is shattered already, let me say that suicide is not because of a fascination with the occult. People commit suicide is because they have some really fucked up shit going on with their mental health. And you people doing this shit doesn't do anything for their mental health but make it worse. Okay? If you have suicidal thoughts, please get some help. Help is available. Help is available. You don't have to go at it alone. You don't. And don't listen to these idiots who have no clue about what they're talking about. Mental health problems are real. And there is real help to be had out there. Don't listen to these nut jobs. Moving on.
Edward Bennett, 19, both raised in Mormon homes, drew blood from their own veins and mutilated animals in satanic rituals. But that was
They don't necessarily have to be satanic rituals. Voodoo, for instance, would require quote unquote mutilation of animals. It's not really mutilation. These idiots would call it mutilation, but it's not, okay? Santeria also would do that, requires animal sacrifice. Pretty much any native African religion would. So just, be advised.
wasn't enough, so they eventually killed 18-year-old Michelle Moore. Sean Sellers, 17, the youngest death row inmate in Oklahoma, brutally murdered his mother and stepfather because they tried to prevent his satanic rituals.
Yeah, but that wasn't because he was a quote-unquote Satanist. That was because he was fucked up and he just wanted to kill. Don't go blaming people who just want to kill other people. Just don't go blaming shit on Satanism, okay? Just don't.
Scott Waterhouse, 17, tortured and killed a 12-year-old girl in a grisly satanic slaughter. Pete Rowland.
And how do you know it was satanic? Not really. How do you know it was satanic? Oh, yeah, you don't. It's just something you're saying. Because it sounds, good to get your Christian audience all up in a tizzy about this shit. Yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever. You know what? Go ahead. Go ahead. We've got to stop this. Like clockwork, like every 30 to 50 years, this shit starts. We've got to stop it. Now, luckily, it's not as bad as the witch trials. But we can do without this shit. Okay? We can do without this shit.
And 17, formed a satanic cult with 3 other boys. After sacrificing a cat, they turned on Steve Newberry, the 4th member of their group, and beat him to death with baseball bats while chanting, "A sacrifice for Satan."
Or they just had bloodlust, you know. How do you know they were chanting? Did they tell you that? Why are you believing them? You think they're going to tell you the truth? They killed someone. They're going to try to find any excuse they can. And what was the best excuse at that time? Blame it on Satan. Moving on.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, was convicted of 13 murders and 30 other felonies. During the summer of
Yeah, you just had to bring up Richard Ramirez, didn't you? You just had to bring up Richard Ramirez. How you doing, movies through the years, if you're still here? No. Ramirez had nothing to do with Satanism. He was just fucked up. All you have to do is read a biography of Richard Ramirez to know that he was fucked up. That's all you gotta do. Nothing to do with Satan.
1985, he beat, strangled, raped, sodomized, shot, and slashed his victims in a rampage of sadistic satanic slayings. In the spring of '89, the dead bodies of 13 victims, one of whom was only 16 years old, were found mutilated and buried in a common grave near the American-Mexican border in Matamoros. This satanic drug-smuggling cult believed that sacrificing humans
That was the cult I was thinking of. The one she was just talking about in Matamoros. That was not satanic. That was Santeria. But there's like a good Santeria and there's a bad Santeria. The leader of the cult was trying to make an Nganga. I hope I pronounced that right. And I'm not going to tell you what an Nganga is. If you want to know, look it up.
In 1866, Anton LaVey founded the first Church of Satan in San Francisco, which at one point claimed 10,000 members. LaVey authored the Satanic Bible and Satanic.
And LaVey would be the first one to tell you he was an atheist. He was not a theistic Satanist. He did believe in magic. I'm sorry. He did believe in magic, but he was an atheist.
Rituals, two of Satanism's most important books. Astonishingly, when the Satanic Bible was first published, it outsold the Holy Bible 2-to-1 in many parts of America and 10-to-1 on some college campuses. It teaches tenets that are totally opposed to goodness, purity, and selfless behavior.
To the Satanist, good is evil and evil is good. The truth.
No. No. Maybe to a theistic Satanist. But to an atheistic Satanist, of whom Anton LaVey was one, no. You people present yourselves as, you people present yourselves as experts. And it is so obvious to anyone that has any inkling of this stuff that you're blowing smoke up your asshole.
Truth is a lie and a lie is a truth. Sweet is bitter and bitter is sweet. And everything is twisted around the other way.
The Satanists have merely followed the pantheist way of thought to its logical conclusion. If there are no absolutes, if God doesn't exist, he hasn't set absolute limits to what we can do. So therefore, any
To my knowledge, LaVeyan Satanists are not pantheists. I suppose there's nothing that says they can't be, but most LaVeyan Satanists are atheists, which means, by definition, they are not pantheists. Probably not. Probably not, perps. Anyway, I think I'll stop for today. I just thought I'd revisit this because, you know, this MAGA nonsense is getting on my nerves. And we gotta stop this shit. Especially because it has nothing, it really doesn't have anything to do with religion. It just has to do with control. That's all it is. Control. That's all they want. Alrighty. So I will see you guys later. I will be going back to, I'll start up with my Bible series again. Not sure when, but sometime soon. Well, perps, not atheistic Satanists. The atheistic Satanists just use Satan as a symbol. They don't really give a shit about Satan. You know what I mean? Now, the theistic Satanists, definitely. But anyway, alrighty. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, he's the Satanic Temple, I think. That's different from LaVeyan Satanism. Alrighty. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.